Okay, today we're going to give you some 101 on Cougar, Mustang, Torino, and other Ford seat belts. A lot of people say, oh, one of my belts is broken, one of them's ugly, I don't know if they're safe. I'm going to buy all brand new belts. The reproductions, most of them look like stink, and the retractors aren't meant to go in that confined area next to your bucket seat, and they aren't finished. They look more raw, like this rear one that's supposed to be hidden in a 72.3 Cougar. Anyway, don't throw out your original seat belts, even if you do decide to go with modern. And the 3-point ones that everybody wants to go with and modernize, I tried those too. I drove a 67 that had it mounted right there back by the quarter window crank. It was always falling off my shoulder. I didn't like any of them. So I say stay original. Reason being is you don't have to send them out and get a high dollar restoration. You don't have to buy a complete set. We got all the pieces and parts. So we're going to give you this video here to identify which is which. So I'm going to start off over here. This is the 67 standard. This is a good system. It's, you know, not very fancy looking, but they didn't come apart. They didn't break. You can't really service these though. I mean, that pin is stamped over and not meant to be taken out. So once that's broken, it's broken. By the way, here's how you tell rear from front. The rears have this little plastic sheath on it, and that was meant to keep this much of your belt rigid, so the belt buckle didn't as easily fall down and make you go fishing for them. So those do not go on the front, these go on the rears. So that's your 67 standard. Here's another tip. Left is the same as right. So this one probably was on the passenger side, and see here it got a chip. Well, you're doing a show car and you want really nice. Well, turn it over to the driver's side and look at that. And I know this side looks different from this, but they are ambidextrous. So that's a little trick there. Really hard to take this plastic sheath off this. I guess on a really hot day, you can get creative and somehow get it to flex. When they were new, they flexed, but after all these years, they're hard. Here's something you don't do. I did this the other day, and I've done it for a long time. When I go to get one of these stuck washers out, this is a 68. When I go to get one of these stuck washers out, I take it on the floor and I go wham! And it usually works. In fact, I'll do it right now. Yay, that was easy. Problem is, some of these get so brittle, this one's not, nice and flexible. I broke it by the force, and this is worth like $100. So be careful how you do that. Oh, and by the way, I'll show you something on this bolt here. See how this is marked with a C? Well, they started that sometime in 6.8. If it was on a 6.7 belt, it would have been just smooth here. And so they did that for identifying purposes, because each one of these bolts is different. Some of them are shouldered, some of them are not. Length differs, they come with different washers. So anyway, pay attention when you take them out, what goes where. One of these days we'll get our website dialed in with pictorials, and this bolt's on there, but it doesn't give you a real definitive idea where it goes. Okay, then we go to 67 Deluxe. These came on XR7s and were optional on standard cars, and they were usually packaged up with other options. But be careful, because hey, these look the same. They're both 67, right? Nope. These buckles are different and do not interchange. Big rectangular hole is standard, and this curved with a small hole is Deluxe. And you can't mix and match with 689. I say 689, this design of buckle was used into 72 on standard Cougars in the rear, I do believe. Okay, give you another tip here. A lot of times you go, oh, this is rusty and I gotta throw away the whole belt. No, you don't have to throw away the whole belt. These come off, and no, you don't have to cut your belt. So I'm going to show you a little trick here. I get a screwdriver. Oh, and another thing, this is the Deluxe version of 6869, and no, XR7 didn't immediately get Deluxe for some reason. You had to pay extra for that. So you'll see XR7s, you'll see XR7Gs with this plain band. That makes it a standard. Nice upgrade, but the problem with these Deluxes is the chrome peels. And that is sharp stuff. You catch a finger there, you will slice your skin. Well, not my skin, I got mechanic's fingers, but somebody's skin, your wife's skin will get cut. So to take these off, you get your screwdriver in there and leave a little pressure here with your thumb, or use 2 screwdrivers in somebody else's hand. And then you go like this, gently take it out, and there you go. And it has to go exactly like this, meaning, see this little spacer here? People lose that, or they think it goes in like this. No, it goes right like that. And then here's your little button. These springs get rusty. We have these springs, we have these buttons, and we have these decals that go right here. That is a anti-rattle piece of foam. It's usually deteriorated. Here's one that's still there. I'm sure you can figure out how to make your own. So anyway, to replace your Deluxe band belts, just pull out on the chrome, push in on the center, and now you can throw that away and buy a new one. Okay, so say your belt buckle is rusty, and you went to the wrecking yard and you found one in another car that looks great, but the belt's the wrong color, wrong length, whatever. You don't have to cut these off. You can salvage them. And here's a little tip. I found these like this that look brand new in the back of station wagons in the 3rd seat. In fact, I found some still in the plastic. They never used that 3rd flip-hand seat. Ford pickups into the late 70s used this style. And you know how some farmers are, you know, when you buy the pickup, you carefully roll these up and you poke them back there and they're never seen again. So when you're out junkyard, and keep that in mind, or when you're eBay searching. You know, somebody lists this as a 68 Shelby, it's big money, but you know, listed as a 74 Ford pickup, well then it's $1. So here's how I'm going to get this out. We're gonna push the barrel, or the, I don't know what you'd call that thing in there. Get to this part and just ever so gently pull it through. You have now got this off. And now you can take, if this one ought to be thrown away. Look how ugly that is. We sell just this part, and there's 2 different markings. There's one that says Robbins, and there's another one. Anyway, this one probably ought to be thrown away. But say yours is just rusty right here, and when they get really rusty, how are those teeth going to bite into the belt? Well, you just take it over to the bead blaster and clean it up. So it may not be pretty right here, but you know, it passes, but it's functional. See that piece now? We got it clean. We did not try breaking it out of here. Don't do that. Anyway, this becomes a functional piece again. Something else with the 68 9s. On the standards, there was 2 versions. So a lot of you guys want to beautify your car, so you order the chrome rings to put on here, and you know, put these off to the side. We sell these too in black, brand new. But you go to yours and you're like, wait a minute, it won't come undone. Well, this was the more solid design that we sometimes see. It's one piece, doesn't come apart. So if you have the one piece design, you're going to have to buy the centers from me as well as the chrome outer if you want to go deluxe. So there's a little information on this. And for me, when it comes to value, we call this a grade A, because look how nice and soft this is. Look at that. Date tag usually missing, but no rust here. This is grade A. A grade B belt might functionally be the same, and at first glance be the same, but there'll be a crack here, a crack maybe here from years of going like this, and maybe just a little bit of rust here. Save a lot of money if you go grade B. So there we go on that. Here we change to 70. Again, ambidextrous, side to side. Hide the little crack by putting this on the driver's side. It sits like that. There was 3 versions of buckles on the front of a 70. This would have been 70 standard with a little starburst that looks just like the 68 and clips right on here. This would have been deluxe, like on your XR7 or Decor model that had that. Fits the same, interchangeable, standard deluxe, but there was a 3rd version for 70, 71, and it was the fronts. on a convertible. So on the coupes, you would have had this in the front and this in the back. And on the convertibles in 70, 71, you would have had this in the front and this in the back. No shoulder strap on convertibles, so they didn't have to deal with this funky buckle here. And let's talk about the shoulder strap since we're moving right along, babbling right along. Where's my shoulder strap? I got a shoulder, oh, there it is right in front of me. Here's the biggest problem with the shoulder straps 70 to 73. See that little plastic bushing? They always break off. So maybe yours is good on the passenger side. Switch it with the passenger side and maybe you'll get that bushing back. But it's supposed to go like that and go, you know, it's kind of a clip like that. The problem is once that plastic bushing falls off, you know, you'll lean over, you'll move, and your shoulder belt will come off. What a pain. I've seen all kinds of fixes there. I think what a lot of people do is just get a couple of O-rings, rubber O-rings, and stretch them over this. I've seen people take a little bit of electrical tape, a little thin strand, go round and round. Multiple fixes there, but that's the way they're supposed to be originally. You got a better fix for these? Email me, comment on the YouTube video. I want to know how you fix that. I don't like the idea of ever messing with that peened over stud. That should never be punched out. So this particular retractor was used 70 and 71, I do believe. Same with this belt. Oh, by the way, they went to Torx in 69 on the bolts. Again, multiple lengths, some with shoulder, some without. Pay attention when you take them out. Okay, 72 mid-year, I can't remember what month, they went to retractors in the back. Prior to that, all of 71 and I think early 72, you just had regular old lap belts, no retractor. So the hard part to find on this is the plastic bezel that snaps into your rear plastic panel. If you don't have that there, you let go of this, boom, it disappears, and now it's not to be seen because your panel will be right here. So be careful not to lose that plastic bezel right there. Anyway, these are not meant to be serviced. If yours is rusty or whatever, you can try lubricating them, but I do not advise busting them open and trying to do anything with them. Here we go, sometime in 72, this was your tractor. Wow, these are hard to find with good plastic cases. The UV rays, like so much, that'll never be right. You can't paint that, you can't clean that, it's just garbage forever. So keep your cars out of the sun. I get on my family and friends and people I work with if they park my convertible outside on a hot day with the top down. Don't do it, man. There's too much you're ruining that is not replaceable. By the way, we sell these little plugs, brand new. They're oftentimes missing. Okay, yeah, here's your Deluxe belts for, oh, I don't know the exact cutoff date when they quit using that. I'm just going to say 72, but I'm not sure on that one. Somewhere in there, they started using these. In 73, wow. They use these in 73 in some models too. So these are garbage. Oh man, this piece here cracks. The buttons fall, in fact, the button I think was trying to fall out of this one. They stick. Yeah, these, if you want matching belts and you see an oddball make a car and it has one of these on it, get some extras. These are worth money right here. And treat them so gentle. I mean, just lubricate them and snap like this. And you can't mix and match on these. See, these retractors look alike? Not. Look at that. Different. These two are basically the same, just a different design in there. Be careful with your belts if you have these. Okay, moving right along. Keep in mind, we will sell any part that comes apart. So you need a belt, one of yours is frayed, but your buckle's fine. Just give us the measurement and measure from here to here. Say, hey, this is my year, this is my color, this is my width. If we don't have it on the website, and most of them we don't, tell us to put it on the website. And if we don't put it on the website, email us. We'll still figure out a way to put it on your invoice on an order that you've already created. So we're flexible there. What else do I got to tell you here on belts? I will say this, your light colors, gosh, you can scrub and scrub and scrub and you aren't going to get those stains off, and some of them are faded. You don't have to send your belts in to the $1,000 guy that you see in Hemmings. There's guys that'll just re-web them. Just send in your buckles. Maybe one of your buckles is ugly. These are prone to rusting. Buy a buckle or a piece or whatever from us. These are cheap. We have these that are not rusted. Buy a few pieces from us. Send your cores to, I like to use, his name is Python Restorations in Texas. He's got a website. Look him up. I like to use him. He will just re-web what you got, or he'll re-chrome everything. He's even got the date code tags that you can sew in. And the beauty about this guy, you find a bunch of belts out of old cars you've had and parts cars and whatnot, send him X amount of cores, he will send you back a restored set in trade. Because some of this stuff, like right here, this is 67 Shelby. And you get down to date codes and stuff, this is sought after stuff. So, you know, don't throw away these cores. They're getting more and more valuable as the years go on. Lastly, on black, sometimes you'll scrub and scrub and scrub and they'll still look kind of faded. Well, take your buckles off, throw these in the wash machine. Don't throw these in the wash machine. Throw these in the wash machine without the buckles. Get them nice and clean, dishwasher. Run them through multiple times. And then you can use like, is it rye dye? You can dye them. I don't like the idea of trying to take a blue belt and make it green or something like that. You can dye these too, but it seems like you'll never get the color spot on when you re-dye the blue and the tan and the red and all that. If they're faded, they'll get better. Don't mess around with dry rotted belts. Like I say, you can get them re-webbed. And when you get them re-webbed, they're safe, they look pretty. He does the correct stitching. He puts the date code tags on them. Anyway, I'm hoping this makes you more educated when you're on Craigslist, eBay, swap meets, buying belts. Sometimes you can find these in dollar boxes and stuff. That's gold right there. And when you call us, you'll now be more educated of what you need. Deluxe, standard, 70, 71, whatever. This isn't the all-inclusive video, but it should help you a little bit.